Well, welcome everybody. It's NewsDialect. This is, I don't know what I am today. You know what, I might pick different names. Today I'm PG Gordy. I think I like the PG Gordian. I might go down the PG Gordian path and see how that floats my canary, because I'm all about canary floating. Have you ever floated a canary? If you have, comment down below if you have floated a canary, in which case I want to know the results of the canary floating. Meanwhile, I got ourselves a show for you today. We got ourselves some stuff rounded up. We've got our news fires. We got our advanced news, base news. We've got news ponders and schizo news. That's right. We added a category, news ponders. So we don't have a graphic for that yet, but you just have to deal. All right. Just deal. You say yes, please. And then you get what you want, and you don't complain. Is that how it goes? I can't remember how this goes. Anyway, let's get to our first segment, because that's what we're all about here on the Family Channel. Not that this is the Family Channel, but we can pretend. All right, let's do this. You know what? I'm getting teary-eyed here. Let's do this segment. All right, this is the Newsfire segment of our News Dialect show. This is PG Gordy delivering you the Newsfires. We've got here, first off, we've got Texas abortion law clears state court challenge, over 100 dead after Chinese jetliner plummets to ground. 13 Burkina Faso soldiers killed in militant assault. Mariupol tells Russia no to surrender. Russia sends Poland a threatening hate letter, all right? A threatening hate letter. Almost 1/4 of reported child deaths not real, CDC admits. Now that's a headline. Justice Clarence Thomas in hospital with infection. Now that is you don't want to see that in your freezers. You know what I mean? You don't want that. You don't want that kind of. You wake up for the Cheerios in the morning. You don't want that news in the morning. So let's go and listen a little bit diving. We'll dive into deep end is what we're going to be heading towards. That's what we're going to try and do here. All right. Texas Supreme Court ruling ends remaining challenge to fetal heartbeat law. These are legalinsurrection.com. So apparently the Texas Supreme Court has just answered a certified question from the Ninth Circuit Court of blah, blah, blah. All right. So there, that is. Now, I don't know if I want to step into the abortion minefield, like, right out the gate. So, well, anyway, we're just going to go over it. We're just going to keep the show rolling, son. Keep the show rolling. Crank it out. Over 100 dead. I already read that headline. Chinese airliner crashes with 132 aboard in country south. And this is from ABC News. A China Eastern Boeing 737-800 with 132 people on board crashed in a remote mountainous area of southern China. And then we have suspected militants kill 13 soldiers in eastern Burkina Faso. I can't say that right. Burkina Faso. I know how to say it. It's just my tongue waggles at the jib sometimes. You ever do that? As you get older, you kids, you'll understand. As the older you get, the more you have that kind of where you're thinking and talking, and the tongue is like, no, man, I got to do this weird thing. Like, okay. So you get that. You get that occasionally, and it is what it is. At least 13 soldiers were killed and 8 others wounded in Burkina Faso's eastern Gorma province in an ambush. Mariupol tells Russia no to surrender. Ukraine rejects Russian demand for surrender in Mariupol. This is from Washington Post. In the capital, Kiev, a shopping center in the densely populated Podil district near the city center was, I think it was hit. Some people got killed because it got hit by artillery, if I'm not mistaken. Russia sends Poland threatening hate letter. Russia threatens Poland in lengthy letter days before Joe Biden's visit, It's from Newsweek.com. Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of the Russian Security Council, on Monday threatened Poland in a lengthy letter. CDC says it overcounted COVID-19 deaths. This is from RT. It's Russia time, so this is Russia Today, so this is Russian propaganda. Well, it's all propaganda. Just anyway. After admitting to a coding logic error, agency strikes out 24% of deaths amongst children. Coding error. Justice Clarence Thomas hospitalized with infection, Supreme Court says. Justice Clarence Thomas, this is from ABC News. Justice Clarence Thomas has been hospitalized with an infection, the Supreme Court announced in a statement. Thomas was admitted to the hospital. Okay, and that's it for that. So now let's think about this, folks. We have a couple of ways that we could possibly go here, and which one do we want to check in more on? Well, me personally, I want to check this one first. I'll find out a little bit more on this one. Let's see about this one a little bit more. So that's this is not the actual plane. I'm sure. A China Eastern Boeing 737-800. This is from ABC News. With 132 people on board, crashed in a remote mountainous area of southern China on Monday, officials said, setting off a forest fire visible from space. So, the Civil Aviation Administration of China said in a statement the crash occurred near the city of Wuzhou in the Guangxi region. The flight was traveling from Kunming in the southwestern province of Yunnan and the industrial center of Guangzhou along the east coast, it added. So the plane was carrying 123 passengers and, well, prayers and all that. Sad news. Sorry to hear that. This one's interesting, the Burkina Faso story. Burkina Faso story. Let's see if we get a little bit more. Now, this is from a mosque attack from earlier in I think this last year. So this is from ABC News. At least 13 soldiers were killed and 8 others wounded in Burkina Faso's eastern Guarma province in an ambush by suspected Islamic extremists, the army announced Monday. A number of the attackers were killed in the incident, according to the Army statement. With an air support, the military has secured the area, it said. Now, let's just do a little... let's just do a little... First off, we're going to do... Gotta go to Google because their map is better. Let's get to that. So you see where Burkina Faso is here. We get a sense of where we're talking about. Talking about Africa. You're talking about where there's a part of the country that's in that green area, and then a lot of it is in the desert. So that's a factor. Getting to know what Burkina Faso is, and we see where we have Togo over here, we have Ghana, we have Cote d'Ivoire. I don't know, that's Cote d'Ivoire. I guess I would say Cote d'Ivoire. Isn't that how you say that? Liberia. You got Guinea, so you don't have any major powers around, so that's good. So a lot of you guys probably have some larger superpower type clients, so, you know, everybody, you got to deal with your internal forces, so and that's what they're dealing with there. So, give you a little bit of sense of what we're talking about there with that Burkina Faso story. Let's get on. Look on here. What else we got here? Mariupol tells no to Russia surrender. Yeah. Well. Well, that's seems like inevitable that thing is going to fall. So I'm not counting on there to be a long future for Mariupol there. And the whole Ukraine-Russia thing, that's another deep story, but I don't want to go too long here. I I just can't for the life of me really root for anyone. So I'm sad for all of the human beings that were born into a situation where they had little choice but to be there for a variety of reasons. Even the people that they've brought in from the Middle East and other Russian satellites, all the human beings. I'm talking about the rank and file folks, the vast, overwhelming majority rank and file folks. The ones that know that it's all a racket. Shame on them. I don't have much love for any of them on any of these sides, whether it's Ukraine, America, Russia, none of them. But for the vast majority of humans that find themselves in this circumstance, I would rather not see anybody be dying right now. So that's, I don't know what more to say about Russia and Ukraine just now. And right now there's so many wild cards because there's so many new factions that have been added in. I would probably have to spend, if all I had to do was concentrate for just this topic and this topic alone, and this topic doesn't pay the bills, so I wouldn't be able to. It would take me maybe a month, I think at least a month of studying at least 4 to 6 hours a day in order for me to get to a solid footing to understand what might happen next, because of suddenly how many different factions are suddenly invested. This has become a linchpin of a lot of people's final battle kind of mentalities. Like, this is the culmination of Western and Eastern powers, and it's stuff upon stuff upon stuff. And at the end of the day, if I could just tell all of them, no matter how vested you are in these long histories, it has always been, the entire time, total BS. It's a scam. But anyway, I don't want to go beyond that. God bless those of us that end up, on the wrong end of the meat machine. Russia sends Poland threatening Hitler. You know what? I'm going to see a little bit more of this. I'm wondering if this is, how much of a hate letter is this? Let's see. The interests of the citizens of Poland have been sacrificed due to Russophobia of mediocre politicians and their puppeteers from across the ocean with clear signs of senile insanity. You're talking about Biden there. Now that is, you see, the thing about it is there's some meat on them bones. No matter how you slice it, no matter what, you hear guy or not, there's some meat on them bones. There's some bony meats. That is some meat boning. You know what? That's so big that I'm gonna just come on, get that up there. Get that up there. Senile insanity. The former Russian president and prime minister wrote in a post on his Telegram channel. Ha ha! I got through my Telegram channel. Weird take. All right, where are we going? Here we go. You're too big. You're too big. You're too big. You're too big. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, we had to find the happy where it was set before, so we're back in business and we're accumulating. We're doing stuff, man. But anyway, so there you go. Took a jab at Biden. Didn't even put that in there, man. And like I said, there's meat on them bones. This one seems like a pretty big deal. I should maybe think about this story a little bit. I mean, this is a little bit of a disconcerting affair, if you ask me. So I'm just going to cruise on through here. CDC says it overcounted COVID-19 deaths. So after admitting to a coding logic error, agency strikes out 24% of deaths among children. The Centers for I can't say this. Slow down, sir. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention admitted last week that nearly a quarter of COVID-19 deaths among children were counted due to a coding logic error. This same algorithmical error caused deaths from the virus to be overcounted in all age groups. On March 15th, 2022, data on deaths were adjusted after resolving a coding logic error. This resulted in decreased death counts across all demographic categories. Read a footnote. A little footnote, just a little bit of footnote. Hey, you know, we're just gonna like take this little tiny little boop. A little footnote, yeah. No, asterisk, special asterisk. Don't look at that. Nobody looks at asterisks. Nobody reads footnotes. In a statement to Reuters, the CDC said that fixing this error removed 72,000 deaths previously reported across 26 states, including 416 pediatric deaths. More than 968,000 people in the U.S. have died of COVID-19 per CDCD. I can't do that. It's a say. You see what I mean? CDC data. You see CDCD. You see what I'm saying, right? You see why that's a struggle for me. Anybody who hates the letter D would feel that way, and I do. And the letter C, so they're both together, so it's horrifying. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just dumb. CDC data with age group dates available for 784,303 of these deaths. Wow. Well, anyway, that's probably fake news, and you don't say CDC is spreading fake news. That's what I'm going to turn CDC in, and I'm going to say that CDC spreading fake news. That's about the size of it. Now, the Clarence Thomas thing, I think we all can, I think, I don't know much more about this, but I'll just check this real quick. I believe we got it here. His symptoms are abating, but he is resting comfortably, and he expects to be released from the hospital in a day or two. All right. It's not, you just gotta be. Yeah, so there you go. That's the Newsfire segment. There you go. Bada boom, bada bing. And that's how we do it, folks. What we do is we do a segment, and then we do a segment. And we just did a segment. So guess what we're going to get ready to do? But believe it or not, we're going to do the next segment, and the next segment is advanced news. So let's do the advanced news, kids. Here we go. This is the advanced news segment for News Dialect with your host, PG Goldie. I think that's who I am today. I have a number of names, and that's the one that I'm going with today. PG Gordy it is. PG. All aboard the PG Gordy store. Are you aboard the PG Gordy store? I just want to know. If you're not aboard the PG Gordy store, you need to get aboard the PG Gordy store, because I'm rocking this to the moon. This is the News Dialects Advanced News. Let's get the headlines. Parkinson's disease treatment on the horizon. AI masters mini cheetah robot development. RNA could reveal life origins. Nostalgia could reduce your pain. Could re-engineered red blood cells help us combat COVID-19? Recharge as fast as you pump thanks to quantum physics. And well, we're going here, this last one here. Reversing aging could also treat coronavirus. How about that rocking and rolling? Rocking and rolling. All right, let's go back. Let's get a little bit deeper with this. What do we got here? New therapies could stop T cells from attacking brain cells in Parkinson's disease. This is from SciTech Daily. La Jolla Institute for Immunology. Scientists at La Jolla Institute for Immunology have found that MIT uses AI to make mini cheetah robot faster than ever before. The past few decades have seen robots go from lumbering behemoths that could barely take I think it says poop. But don't, I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I think it does say poop, though. Self-evolving RNA offers insights into the origins of life. Yes, we reduce ourselves to scatology in the name of the yucks. We do that. It's a cheap show. but it's an honorable cheap show. And this is from Tech Explorist. Introducing self-evolving RNA created by scientists at the University of Tokyo. It offers insight into how simple biological... I think I like doing that. I might do that. I just cut it off like that. Biological... We'll come back to them maybe. We'll do stuff. We'll see what happens. Nostalgia could reduce your pain. Scientists find a surprising connection between nostalgia and pain relief. This is from Inverse.com. In a study published this month in the Journal of Neuroscience, participants in a lab experiment where... Or I'll just do that. Sorry. I don't want to read... I want to try to get in the habit of not reading this headline because that ruins the effect. I don't want to do that. We're working through it. Researchers re-engineer red blood cells to trigger immune system against COVID-19 from Science Daily. Physicists, chemists, and immunologists at McMaster University have teamed up to modify red blood cells to... Oh, come on, man. My keyboard is not cooperating with me. New technology to make changes charging electric cars as fast as pumping gas from ScienceBlog.com. Institute for Basic Science. To address this problem, scientists look for answers in the mysterious field of... It's quantum physics, quantum whatever. Quantum. You know what? I want to just have a show. I was just calling it quantum. I just want to be like, okay, quantum aging could quantum create quantum. Quantum retail drones, quantum disguise to quantum Russia. It'd be like that. That'd be the show. I'm not bitter. All right. So what did I say? Oh, new bioage drug prevents death from COVID-19 in old mice by reversing immune aging. From Science Tech Daily. A phase 2 clinical trial is testing the new drug's ability to reduce mortality. You know what? Why don't we just go to that one first? Why don't we do that? Yeah. Let's check this out. Let's see a little bit more detail here. See if we want to go any deeper or not. Let's see. A phase 2 clinical trial is testing the new drug's ability to reduce mortality in older people hospitalized with COVID-19 by directly targeting immune aging. BGE 175 could effectively treat emerging COVID variants that evade vaccine-based immunity. The immune system deteriorates with age, making COVID-19 particularly deadly in older people. But to date, no clinically available medication addresses this key factor. A study published today in Nature shows that an oral drug that reverses multiple aspects of immune aging effectively prevents death in a mouse model of COVID-19, suggesting that the medication could be used to protect the elderly patients who are at greatest risk in the pandemic. And listen, I am trying a liquid version of this that gets to you immediately, and you get the effect. And I'm one of the elderlies, I think. I think it's safe to say I'm an elderlies. I'm calling myself an elderlies. I'm doing it. Taking the elderly mantle, and I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what it's like. The phase 2 clinical trial drug. Trying it now. It tastes nutty with a taste of fat. It's all right, folks. I'm fine. I fought it off. I just want to say, don't take that drug, because unless you have superpowers like I do, P.G. Gordy, superpowers, I surely would have died. But I fought it off. From inside out, I fought it off. And I live. So don't follow my example. Don't just drink what people hand you, especially when their hands are dripping with blood. I should have fought this through. But fortunately, because of my super heroic powers, I was able to evade capture, I guess you could say, in a manner of speaking. 'Cause I think they want me dead. Yeah, and that's just the paper boy. Yeah, that's just the paper boy. That's what I'm talking about. All right, moving on. I think we're done with this story. We've got moving on up here to nostalgia could reduce your pain. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it can reduce your pain or it can create it. Maybe both. Well, let's see what they say. Let's give a piece of chance. This is inverse. In a study published this month in the Journal of Neuroscience, participants in a lab experiment where sight heat was applied to their skin rated their pain as less severe if they viewed nostalgia-inducing images such as candy, cartoons, and toys from the eras of their childhood. The reminders of yesteryear also seem to change activity levels in regions of the brain that scientists think are important to pain perception. All right. That's enough of that. All right. Well, that's I guess that's a good little probing that you could pursue, and I'm all for that. All right. Good job. Could re-engineering red blood cells help us COVID? Okay, I think we're going to have to check this a little bit. What do you think? Come on, guys. Guys, what do you think? I think we're going to have to dive a little bit deeper into this. Researchers re-engineer red blood cells to trigger immune system against COVID-19 from Scientific Daily. Physicists, chemists, and immunologists at McMaster University have teamed up to modify red blood cells to transport viral agents which can safely trigger the immune system to protect the body against SARS-CoV-2, creating a promising new vehicle for vaccine delivery. Developing new strategies and vaccine technologies is critical for controlling the pandemic and preparing for future outbreaks as the coronavirus continues to evolve and mutate, say the researchers. The new method described in the journal PLOS ONE is an entirely unique approach to vaccination. Red blood cell membranes are embedded with SARS-CoV spike protein, which then form virus-like particles. We take red blood cells and remove everything from the inside. We then attack spike proteins to their outside to mimic a coronavirus, explains graduate student Isabel. Wait. Here's the big shot right here. This is the big one. Okay. We take red blood cells and remove everything from the inside. We then attach spike proteins to their outside to mimic a coronavirus. You know, I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, you know what? Just leave it. I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about it. I don't know if I could go through with that. It's like, you know, kind of the feeling that I'm getting is kind of the same as like, it's like if it's like the inner part of my body was just like being scraped with like a rusty, like a cleaning tool, like a little hooked cleaning tool, like a finite wire type cleaning tool, but it's rusty and nasty. That's what I imagine being scraped all throughout the insides of my body, thinking about allowing red blood cells to be re-engineered in me to have the spike protein to combat COVID-19. I don't know. I'm feeling like it's a weird move. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not trying to be a skeptic. I'm just reacting viscerally. Recharge as fast as you pump thanks to quantum physics. So this is new technology to make charging electric cars as fast as pumping gas. To address this problem, you know, where you have the long charging times it's a big drawback for electric cars. To address this problem, scientists look for answers in the mysterious field of quantum physics. Their search has led to the discovery that quantum technologies may promise new mechanisms to charge batteries at a faster rate. Such concept of quantum battery has been first proposed in a seminal paper published by Alecki and Fornis in 2012. It was theorized that quantum resources such as entanglement can be used to vastly speed up the battery charging process by charging all cells within the battery simultaneously in a collective manner. Recently, scientists from the Center for Theoretical Physics of Complex Systems within the Institute for Basic Science further explored these questions. The paper, which was chosen as an editor's suggestion in the journal Physical Review Letters, showed that all-to-all coupling is irrelevant in quantum batteries, and that the presence of global operations is the only ingredient in the quantum advantage. The group went further to pinpoint the exact source of this advantage while ruling out any other possibilities, and even provided an explicit way of designing such batteries. Well, holy moly, we are going deeper, weeps. We are going deeper, right? Just tell me, we're going deeper. We're deeper, right? All right, where are we at? Because let's get more information about this hoo-ha. Okay. Let's cruise on down here. Cruise on down. Cruise on. Okay. Researchers say that consequences can be far-reaching and that the... Okay, in addition... No. Further up. Okay, here we go. In addition, the group was able to precisely quantify how much charging speed can be achieved in this scheme. While the maximum charging speed increases linearly with the number of cells in classical batteries, the study showed that quantum batteries employing global operation can achieve quadratic scaling in charging speed. To illustrate this, we will consider... Okay, and then they're going to get... Researchers say that consequences can be far-reaching and that the implications of quantum charging can go well beyond electric cars and consumer electronics. For example, if they find key uses in future fusion power plants which require large amounts of energy to be charged and discharged in an instant. So, now, okay, so their search has led to the discovery that quantum technologies may promise new mechanisms to charge batteries at a faster rate. Such concept of quantum battery has been... Okay. This is particularly citing Okay, so it was theorized that quantum resources such as entanglement can be used to vastly... Okay, got that. This is particularly exciting as modern large-capacity batteries can contain numerous cells. So what I'm looking for is, what is the global... What is that? What does that mean? So it was noticed that there could be two possible sources behind the quantum... Oh, here we go. Two possible sources behind this quantum advantage, namely global operation, in which all the cells talk to all others simultaneously, i.e. all sitting at one table, and all-to-all coupling. Every cell can talk with every other, but a single cell, many discussions, but every discussion has only two participants. Aha! So there. That is the key. So that could be key. Now, as usual, when we're talking about new technologies, we need the open source versions of these things, because otherwise these things are going to be put behind firewalls, and the products and services that emerge from these protected technologies, they'll be prescription or I keep saying prescription. In a way, they are prescription services, subscription services. So we don't want that. We're going further up. We got more stuff. I think. We have Parkinson's disease treatment on the horizon. I'm not going to go to that one. That one's a little bit on the distant. AI masters many cheetah. RNA could reverse life origins. Let's do this one. I want to do this one. Let's see what they have to say about this big old nice graphic there. Self-evolving RNA offers insight into the origin of life. This is from Tech Explorers. Introducing self-evolving RNA created by scientists at the University of Tokyo. It offers insights into how simple biological molecules can lead to the emergence of complex life-like systems. This self-evolving RNA can replicate, diversify, and develop complexity. An origin of life scenario depicts Darwinian evolution from self-replicating molecules such as RNA towards complete living systems. This step-by-step change possibility eventually led to the emergence of life. Or so the theory goes. Although there have been many discussions about this theory, it has been challenging to physically create such RNA replication systems. In this study, scientists performed long-term evolution experiments of RNA replicants using a self-encoding RNA replicators. They explain how they observed the transition from a chemical system towards biological complexity. Project Assistant Professor Ryu Mizuchi said, "We found that single RNA species evolved into a complex replication system, a replicator network." Well, let's see this. Where are we at? This is here we go. It is okay. For this study, scientists use a unique RNA replication system that can undergo Darwinian evolution. It is a self-perpetuating process of continuous change based on mutations and natural selection. This allows different characteristics to emerge and the ones adapted to the environment to survive. Mizuchi said, "Honestly, we initially doubted that such diverse RNAs could evolve and coexist. In evolutionary biology, the competitive exclusion principle states that more than one species cannot coexist if competing for the same resources. This means that the molecules must establish a way to use different resources one after another for sustained diversification. They're just molecules, so we wondered if it were possible for non-living chemical species to develop such innovation spontaneously. The simplicity of our molecular replication system compared with biological organisms allows us to examine evolutionary phenomena with unprecedented resolution. The evolution of complexity seen in our experiment is just the beginning. Many more events should occur towards the emergence of living systems. The results could be a clue to solving the ultimate question that human beings have been asking for thousands of years: what are the origins of life?" Oh, that's nothing short of extraordinary. Probably something we want to keep a track on. That sounds really fascinating. And I think we're going to end this segment with, yeah. I'm sorry, I had to make sure I got the right, I thought I had another story, but I don't. So we're going to end the very segment right there. This segment is part of the News Dialect show, which you should be watching its entirety, not just this segment. So there. And there you go. We got that segment done. And we are, well, folks, I'm sorry to say this, but we're kind of at the halfway point. So we're going to shuttle on to the midstream break. I could take a little bit of a break, and then when I come back, then we get to the rest of the show. We've got base news coming up, and then after base news, we have news ponders. That's our new category. I don't have a special thing for that, so I'll just use Newsfire. I don't know what I'll use. And then we got schizo news. So we got schizo news at the end. So that's where we're at. So with that in mind, let's get to the. We'll see you on the other side, folks. Give you about 3-4 minutes. About 3-4 minutes. I'll be right back. Oh boy. I guess we're back, huh? I guess we're back. We're back, folks. As I get ready for the show, second half of the show, we got three segments, but these will be shorter segments than the other two segments, ship bound. So we should face what we face. We'll see how this works out. We're going to get ready to do the next segment, right? Let's right to it. Let's do the base news segment. This is the News Dialects base news segment. This is a show that you should be watching is News Dialect. But if you're watching the base news segment, all right. You know, good on you, mate. Let's get the headlines first. Judge prevents Trump from countersuing woman. International big farm stays in Russia. Dems losing blacks, Hispanics in latest polls. University of Toledo teachers must use chosen first name of students? It's a question. After calling Hunter laptop a hoax, big tech takes L. Even leftist students feel oppressed by collegiate cancel culture. All right, that's it. So there you go. Oh wait, no, that was that was the old one. I didn't want that one. This is this. So I got these five. These are my 5 headlines for this segment. Let's go a little deeper here. Let's go a little bit deeper. We got old Trump cannot sue rape accuser to stop her defamation case. U.S. judge rules from Reuters. U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan in Manhattan accused the former U.S. president of, quote, bad faith, unquote, by needlessly curious. Agricultural giants stay in Russia despite calls to exit over Ukraine war. From WSJ.com. The world's largest agricultural companies are continuing to sell seeds and handle crops in Russia despite pressure. Oh my gosh. Do you just want to starve the Russian people now? Every time we go through these cycles of this stuff, everybody should just read the Mark Twain war poem. Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain. Look it up. I think it's called The War Prayer or something like that. You'll find it, but just read that poem, especially if you're Christian and you're going down this line where you think one of the groups involved in this madness is somehow has a moral high ground to speak for. Nobody does. Nobody. Anyway, that's just, I don't know what you really want these companies to cut the Russian people off from. All right, we're moving on. Poll: Republicans take 9-point lead with Hispanics. Support from black voters more than doubles. Now 27%. Jeez, wow. So this is from Breitbart. Republicans have taken a 9-point national lead among Hispanic voters. If that were to hold up, that would be huge. Proposed policy at University of Toledo would require calling others by their chosen first name. This from Legal Insurrection. This policy could be abused in some very creative ways. Of course. and of course it's going to be. You can't legally compel teachers to call people by their first names. You can basically, recommend it's good policy in general to do that, but once you make it like they have to, come on, you know what's going to happen. I know if I was a student, I'd be coming in the next day with whatever the name of my teacher was. If his name was Professor Jackson, I would come in with my first name is Professor Jackson is an a-hole. You know? Excuse me, could you please address me by my first name? Alright. Professor Jackson is an a-hole. Thank you, sir. You know what I'm saying? Come on, that's only just the beginning. I'm not going to tell you my name, but I wrote it down. It begins with the letter N, as in November. You have to say it out loud. Everybody record this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't think that's advice. I think that you should probably think about that one. All right. Hunter laptop confirmation exposes Big Social's 2020 election manipulation from freedomist.com. Leading up to the mass mailer presidential non-election of 2020, Big Social got whiff of a damning news item that could potentially derail the... All right. Let's do this one. Let's go here first. Go a little bit deeper, see if we're interested in this. Got that big old L after Collier. All right, there you go. That's a great picture. That summarizes everything. Yep, everything. Should be like a little kid stuck in between here, trying to figure out which way to kill themselves. By going this way or this way. Because they know they ain't getting out either way. These guys got ninja arms, man. It's like boom, 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 boom. That kid ain't going anywhere. This dude ninja slapped that kid right back in that center place. You don't want that. That's horrifying. That's horrifying. They're creepy. I guess that's my way of letting you know. They're very, 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 very creepy people. Creepy. Yeah. Anyway, leading up to the mass mailer presidential non-election of 2020, Big Social got whiff of a damning news item that could potentially derail the Biden train, the Hunter Biden laptop. In a story alleging that Hunter Biden's laptop was retrieved from a computer repair shop, Big Social decided to first immediately slap a big fact-check claim that the story was not true, was fake news, was Russian disinformation. But the story kept going out, and it was gaining in credibility, so Big Social decided to slap the old misinformation tag on the whole affair, nuking the story, and any creators that dared continue overtly reporting on the laptop in future posts. You know, trust the science, kids. So there you go. That's it's been verified quietly by the New York Times that yes, indeed a Petey. Sure shootin' wootin'. Most assuredly, it's verified. It's not fake news. All the accounts that got nuked are sharing this because they share fake news. All their claims. I mean, I remember when the first proposals came around for the idea of them to verify misinformation that Zuckerberg, in all of his glory, declared, well, it would be really hard for us to do that because, like, how would we know what misinformation was? Bingo. Now, in this case, I don't think these people are even trying. It's not about trying. They're not making errors. They're doing the manipulative work of working for the whole team. Team DNC. I mean, if you want to use the most simplest language maybe that people can understand, the Megacorp DNC Alliance. Just call it that. And, the CCP Megacorp DNC Alliance. And then there's other groups in there, but those are the big players here. And I mean, there's a lot of dynamics going on there, but it's just harder and harder for them to sustain their credibility, even with normies. They're losing normie credibility, and that gives people like you and I plenty of opportunities to build platforms for normies. Normies. So I'm trying, by the way, to speak more in normie language so people can understand me. I'm probably failing miserably, but I'm trying to keep my language simpler and not going down crazy philosophical, theological, whatever tangents. I'm keeping it. I'm squaring things up is what I'm doing. So I already did a little bit of a bit on this one, this whole University of Toledo teachers thing. And I don't think I want to do. I mean, I think I said what I wanted to say with that. And honestly, I don't think. I don't know. I just think it's a stupid idea. Just because. It's like if you hate your professors. But, on the same hand, I don't have a really fun love for professors right now. A lot of these people have sold their souls to the devil. Metaphorical devil in Minecraft. So, I don't know. Make them. But you know what? Eventually, hopefully, there won't be professors in those positions that are bat poop crazy like the professors that dominate American colleges and universities today. So then we'll want to preserve their right. So we have to preserve this right for the future professors, even if it means we don't get to watch the hilarity as the super woke professors get hoisted on their own petards yet again and again and again with that one. It'd be a beautiful thing. So let's see. Poll: Republicans take 9-point lead with Hispanic. I'll be interested in this in 2 more months. Then I'll really start to put a lot more weight to stuff like this. International Big Farm. I've already spoke about this as well. And, yeah. I think that wanting them to pull out is just, no. And I don't even care about this. This is just one of these. I throw these up here and whatever, but that's a whole other world. This, to me, this whole thing is fake news. The whole Trump DNC drama. Anyway, how to play out as it'll play out. Let's hope that we're not left with a choice between Donald Trump and Joe Biden in 2024. Honestly, I'm trying to convince everybody to stop putting any energy into even thinking about voting and put it into microfactories in your neighborhoods instead of trying to get the vote out. But that's just me. That's just me. I know that I'm speaking into the wind, and the wind is whispering, "Are you crazy? No, we can do it this time. If we win this election, this time, we can fix things. We can make it better." I'm going to end this segment here. All right. So there you go. Let's get to the next segment here. We're going to go right to it, folks. That's how we do it, because we're professionals. Oh, this is the News Ponder, so maybe. Let's see, which one do I use? You know what? I'll use the browser for this one. I'll use the browser for this one. All right, this is the News Ponder segment of News Dialect, the News Dialect show. If you're not watching the whole News Dialect show, shame on you. This is PG Gordy. That's who I am today. I have many names. That's what I'm going with now. And I am what I am. This is the News Ponder. So let's read the headlines first. What do we got here? We got parent rights issues are left's Achilles heel. China expanding military budget, leaving the left society. Russia drops IP protections for NATO states companies. Buffett moves to buy mega insurer Allegheny. All right, so it's just these 5 headlines. So we'll go a little bit deeper on these. Unsheathing the sword of parental right to vanquish the left from freedomist.com. Unsheathing the sword of parental rights to vanquish the left from freedomist.com. Virginia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe attacked the right of parents to have a say in the public school curriculum, revealing the left's power. In a period of brute force, China increased its military budget yet again, from the Daily Signal. Federico Bartels, I guess, is the reporter here. The Chinese Communist Party announced this week it will increase the budget for the military by 7%. Leaving the left society. Is it time to ghost the left? From freedomist.com. Your news outlets are not in the business of making money. They're mostly subsidized by the megacorp who owns them. megacorps, whatever you want to call them. Russian decree immunizes infringement of patents from unfriendly countries. USPTO terminates PPH program with Rosparent, and Ninth Circuit affirms Katy Perry's copyright win over Dark Horse. Oh, that's a little extra bit. All right, well, I'm glad she won because it's anyway, I'm not 100% saying that you guys can't have some level of your IPs, because I know you need some, or you lose your freaking minds. I'm just saying that maybe a whole lot less IPs than you have now, intellectual properties. Like, we really significantly roll back the IPs in a lot of ways. So let's go to this one first. Let's go to parent rights issues are left's Achilles heel. So let's go here. Let's go. Virginia Democrat gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe attacked the right of parents to have a say in the public school curriculum, revealing the left's power to the state obsession, canceling the old New Left slogan, power to the people. The left has a fanatical belief in government. They just don't get how out of step with regular people this makes them, very much including people of color. Let's go a little bit deeper into this one. This is all right. Left makes huge mistake attacking parental rights. Virginia, okay, I read this part. McAuliffe declared, I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach. He doubled down on Meet the Press. After McAuliffe's humiliating defeat, the left went off to fight book banning, libeling parents' objections to age-inappropriate material in the schools. Sly. Yeah, and also they had this campaign, this weird, where suddenly the New York Times was concerned. This is how these people are being totally disingenuous. They know what crud they're slinging. I'll just say. And so you have these New York Times reports, Washington Post. It's all the same type of take, and it's we're concerned about our First Amendment rights. They're trying to say they'll get the right with their own issue. They don't understand First Amendment rights fundamentally, or I think they do. They just don't care. So what they imagine as First Amendment rights is teachers should be able to speak to your children about whatever they want. Darn it! You're taking away a teacher's First Amendment rights to say in a public school using public tax dollars whatever they want to your child. That's not how this works. And they fundamentally don't understand that because they don't understand parental rights. Conservative commenters tended to focus on the political cost of rejecting the legitimacy of parental concern about giving school teachers, who in turn are channeling avant-garde elites, unchecked power to prescribe morality. It's bigger than that. The culture war really is the left's cultural revolution, right? It is. I've spoken about this in multiple. This is you study the cultural revolution of Chairman Mao, and it's turn the young against their parents, against the older generation. This is fundamentally what they were about doing, and tear down all of the traditions, tear down everything, so you could fundamentally reboot society. You must do this to be able to reboot society, because nothing can remain if you have to cleanse the land of the toxicity of the old. And this is exactly what's going on in our schools today. Out of a comely modesty, this fight typically gets euphemized as about privacy or consent or choice. That said, it's largely about sex, access to erotic artworks extending to the pornographic, birth control, free love, modesty, gender preferences, marriage, and abortion. Secondarily, America's legitimacy. Yes, I think and he's right. It's secondarily, because this other part this is grooming. This is, people have been. They're now calling it. They're now recognizing it, and I was waiting for them to, and I've been waiting them to for a couple of years now. Call it what it is, grooming. And when you want to, the Florida law that they are saying is the so-called Don't Say Gay bill is saying that you can't talk about sexual preference and gender identities and all these things with children under the age of 9. If that is too ridiculous for you, we're done talking to you. We're done. And by we, I mean the American people who recognize the fundamental rights of parents to teach their children their morality. You don't get to use it with the public schools. What you do with your corporate whatevers, we don't control that. But what you do with these public schools, no. You don't have a right to basically create. Basically, this is, you need to separate your church from the state, because you are a church and you're teaching children of religion. The parental rights fight is largely over whose morality will be the standard for the next generation. However, in undermining parental rights, the left undermines the very constitutional grounds by which they have so capably advanced their agenda. The Supreme Court, per exploring constitutional conflicts, there's a link, I guess. The Supreme Court, in 2 decisions in the 1920s, read the 14th Amendment's Liberty Clause to prohibit states from interfering with the private decisions of educating and educators and parents to shape the education of children. In Meyer v. Nebraska, the Supreme Court struck down a state law that prohibited the teaching of German and other foreign languages to children until the 9th grade. 2 years later, in Pierce v. Scott's Society of Sisters, the court applied the principles of Meyer to strike down an Oregon law that compelled all children to attend public schools. The doctrines generated by the 2 parental rights cases formed the precedent on which the Supreme Court relied in striking down a state's law prohibiting contraceptives to married couples, a right to possess and view pornography, and the basis for a woman's supposed right to choose, and so on. Much progressive judicial advocacy and the Supreme Court victories is founded in the 2 Supreme Court cases affirming parental rights as fundamental constitutional rights. If the left succeeds in demolishing parental rights, they would undermine the foundation on which much of their cultural revolution has been built. Well, I don't think if they were able to succeed that they would care much about the Constitution. It's the whole idea is to dismantle the whole Constitution anyway. Big oopsie. Only if you could pin them down within the constitutional frame and you got the judges to do it. That said, the leaders of the right don't grasp how precarious the left's predicament is. The right almost always fails to exploit the... Now, right now, they are... I will grant them this. They are vulnerable to this right now because they are still stuck in the Bill of Rights frame. So this becomes... You can start to attack them on many levels when it comes to parental rights. You want to start taking away parental rights, then we can start challenging parents that give their children these injections for where they're giving these children these injections for well, not the injection, maybe some of them. It depends. Some of them seem more, well, possibly safer than others. But certainly, if you prevent them from doing surgical treatment to their kids, letting their kids do surgery, something like that when it comes to the transgender stuff, you're going to open the door. But that's assuming that we keep them framed within the constitutional frame, and we will for the foreseeable future. So he's right for the foreseeable future. I know firsthand, I was president of a conservative advocacy. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this, but you'll have to go to the Freedomist to get that. But at any rate, it's a fascinating story, actually. You know the story. I know the person who wrote the story. So there. Let's do this one. Leaving the Left Society. Let's check this out. Leaving the Left Society. Your news outlets are not, this is from freedomist.com, your news outlets are not in the business of making money. They're mostly subsidized by the megacorp that owns them. Megacorpos, whatever you want to call them, produce content marketing packaged as news. These same megacorpos, I guess I want to call them, I guess they're megacorpos. These megacorpos have been subsidized in essence by foreign markets with China being bigger than maybe all the others combined. China has become the de facto subsidizer of content marketing in America for the past 5 to 8 years. Oh wow, that's just a little bit of teaser. That's a little bit of teaser just to ponder and take in. And I think I'm going to end this segment there. That's what we're going to do. So there you go. That's what we do. Is just a little bit teasers here for the news ponders here as we get ready for the last segment here. And the last segment is going to be the Schizo News, and we're going to jump right into it, my friends. We're jumping right into the Schizo News. Whoa. Hold on. That's a false alarm. Sometimes you feel like a nut, and sometimes you don't. Ready? This is Schizo News, a news segment for News Dialect. If you're not watching the whole show, what the freaking frack is your problem? This is PG Gordy, your host. That's my name today. That's what I'm going with. And let's do the headlines here for this Schizo News segment. We got Ukraine war threatens semiconductor supplies. Yeah, that's a real headline. And it's true. OnlyFans model takes nude selfies after brain surgery. Cool. Of course that's got to be in there. Amnesty International wants the Jewish state destroyed? Come on. Did I read that right? Climate change religion soon to be enforced by Big Social. Yay! Look at that. Cute puppers there in that next story there. The Welsh just criminalized slapping children. No exceptions. Oh, you cute little puppers there. You're not slapping the puppers. All right. Those are the headlines. Now let's go a little bit deeper into each of these stories here. Semiconductor supply in limbo as war halts Ukrainian neon production. From globalnews.ca. Ukraine's two leading suppliers of neon, which produce about half the world's supply of the key ingredient. Are you kidding me? What? Are you kidding me? Told you. True story. OnlyFans model has brain surgery, kept taking nudes in hospital. This is from the New York Post. Samantha Ibrahim, taking nude photos is always a no-brainer. Oh, I see what you did there. That's a clever one. Taking nude photos is always a no-brainer for OnlyFans model Ruby May, and the 25-year-old stayed devoted. Okay. That's special. That's wonderful. Amnesty International goes anti-Semite, says Israel shouldn't exist as a Jewish state. This is from freebeacon.com. The director of Amnesty International USA on Wednesday said Israel shouldn't exist as a Jewish state. Okay? Democrats, climate activists pressure big tech to censor, quote, misinformation, unquote, from dailysignal.com. A House Democrat leading an investigation of oil industry, quote, misinformation, unquote, blames social media companies for blocking legislation to... All right. Welsh government smacking ban now in force. This is from christian.org.uk. Parents who give their child a mild smack now risk arrest and a criminal record under a government ban in Wales. I don't know if I want to go too much deeper into this one. This is just silly. Are you kidding me? Wow, that cute little puppers. It's not your fault, buddy. No, it's not your fault. No, nobody's going to snap you. No. I like dogs, all right? It's just the way it is. Don't hate on the man for loving his doggies. I don't have a doggie. I had a doggie, but I don't have one now. End story. I'm not opening up to you, Shane. I'm not opening up to you. That's not a line from a movie. I just made it a line from a movie that never existed. Ha! Climate change religion soon to be enforced by Big Social. Awesome. Let me see. Let's check this one out. Go a little bit deeper on this one, maybe. I'm interested in going a little bit deeper with you. A House Democrat leading an investigation of oil industry. I'm just not going to keep saying the quote things, all right? Of oil industry misinformation blames social media companies for blocking legislation to counter climate change, even as big tech corporations move to demonetize and suppress debate on climate. What? I seriously doubt they're doing that. On climate-related issues. Google acted to demonetize climate denial information. Facebook upped its... Oh, okay. They're saying that even as they move to demonetize and suppress debate. In other words, okay, never mind. The leftists aren't saying this. The rights are saying, dude, you're blocking our stuff, though. Again, and you want to go and complain? Never mind. Stop complaining to the government about your corporate power, your corporate problem. Just saying, I'm just putting it out there. Don't hate on me. Don't hate on the hater. Don't hate on me. Stop complaining and just do your own crap. That's what I say. Really, that's what we say. That's what I say. We do. People will find you. It'll happen. Trust me. All right, don't listen to me. Anyway, so apparently this Democrat from California, Ro Khanna, apparently I don't want to assume the gender on that, which has conducted 2 hearings on all misinformation and postponed the third. I don't think that we should have our Congress members conducting hearings about misinformation on social media, really. Unless it's to say, what can the government do to put out stuff like public service messages to combat that's the only thing you should be doing to combat misinformation, not trying to filter it. Because we all know. I mean, we did stories in this show about the Hunter Biden laptop. That was misinformation. All kinds of things were misinformation once, and then later aren't. And then they are again, then they aren't. It'll be just like Orwell's 1984. With a flip of a button, we go from this guy's our friend to this guy's our enemy. But we're doing even more than that. We're going with a flip of a button. We go from this everything is going to die concern to this everything is going to die concern. And they just, with the flip of a button, everybody just goes with it. Everybody just immediately, whatever it is that they're supposed to be afraid of, whatever it is that you're supposed to hate, like 60+% of this country is just like, boom, boom shakalaka. You know, we're living in a time where most of our neighbors are, for a variety of reasons, more than comfortable to just sit back, relax, and kind of cruise along and go along with the ride and try to keep their heads low, maybe, and see if there's possibly a better outcome for them. If they just keep their head low, and maybe everything will pass over. It's like a bad storm. No, you just keep your heads low. Just whatever, do the programs, do the training, do whatever. Sign the papers, get the shots. It'll pass. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Only a few people will actually suffer bad effects. Everything's fine. It'll pass over. Everybody. It'll pass over. It's fine. So let's look at next story up here. If we can get to it. What do we consider to look at? How about this one? I want to get a little bit more of a backdrop on this one. The Only Nudes fan mom. Gotta check this out. Gotta do this. OnlyFans model has brain surgery, kept taking nudes in hospital. Taking nude photos is always a no-brainer for OnlyFans model Ruby May. Oh, gosh. And a 25-year-old stayed devoted to her followers, even when she was forced to undergo brain surgery. May kept it sexy during her hospital sojourn when she was admitted for surgery on March 4th, taking NSFW snaps while in recovery for 5 days and posting a steady stream on her fan page. I bet you she was making bank. And he's like, listen, man, I might actually live, and I might actually come out of it without being like a fly. So just in case, let me make my bank until I get through to the other side. I can never bring myself to stop working, and I took nudes in the bed in my hospital gown the day after surgery, she told Jam Press. The Sydney native had been dealing with frequent moments of dizziness and sharp headaches that would go on for about 10 seconds each instant. Once May took a trip to the doctor, she found she was diagnosed with Chiaria malformation, a rare condition that occurs when an area of the skull contorts and puts pressure on the spinal column. So she had to go get her spinal thingy spinalized. So it's not real brain surgery. Wow, all that just to get to that. I poop on you, 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 I poop on you. That was a poop story, folks. I'm sorry. I expected a little bit more from that. So I'm a little bit haloed out on that production. So we got to look and see if we're going to do. Are we going to do another last story here? We got another one. Yeah, we're going to have to check this one out. All right, we're gonna. Let's check this one out. Come on. There's no way we're not checking this out. Let's get a little bit more detail on this. Amnesty International wants the Jewish state destroyed. All deportation is forced. No to Israel. Rwanda deal. Rwanda, yes, we know. Okay, from Free Beacon. Their headline is Amnesty International goes anti-Semite, says Israel shouldn't exist as a Jewish state. The director of Amnesty International USA on Wednesday said Israel shouldn't exist as a Jewish state in the wake of his organization's release of a controversial report on Israel that drew backlash from U.S. officials. American Jews want a safe Jewish space, Executive Director Paul O'Brien said, rather than an explicitly Jewish state. O'Brien, who is not Jewish, called on the Jewish community to collectively change the conversation and bring about a secular state by adhering to core Jewish values, which are to be principled and fair and just. Amnesty takes no political views on any questions, including the right of the state of Israel to survive, O'Brien said. O'Brien made the remarks, which were reported by Jewish Insider, at an event hosted by the Women's National Democratic Club. The director of the human rights group defended a report released last month by his parent organization that accused Israel of carrying out an apartheid against Palestinians. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Well, what do I think about that? Let's think about that again. So, the director said Israel shouldn't exist as a Jewish state. So that was their advice. At the end of this report, it's that they shouldn't exist as a Jewish state. That seems to be a pretty strong political view. That definitely seems like a strong political view. But I do think that, I don't think that they're saying that they want the Jewish state destroyed. That's a question mark. I think that's a little tongue-in-cheek headline there. So, wow. I'd say it was a pretty, it's still pretty arrogant and pretty much, who are you to tell a nation state how to freaking run their government? You're Amnesty International. You get in the business doing that, you're going to have to tell the other states that have some sort of a theocratic type base that they need to be untheocratic as well. Like Saudi Arabia and all the rest. See, aggressively tell them that they shouldn't exist. Start doing that kind of stuff and you're not going to be able to help anybody that's might actually have needed your help that maybe once you could help. But now you're blowing Amnesty International's credibility. Who's going to let them anywhere near anyone or anything at this point? So what you're doing here is horrible. Horrible. If all Amnesty International is to you now is just another political weapon of war for the DNC, corporate, whatever, megacorp coalition. Shame on you, because that's just about what it seems like you've let this organization become. You, the people in Amnesty International. I guess I'll leave it at that. I think I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end my segment. I'm gonna end this segment there. That's the end of the segment. Not only is it the end of the segment show, but folks, not only, I'm going to tell you folks, I'm going to try to do another show this week, possibly Wednesday, but I'm going to do one in the morning. Because I think doing it, this is like, I actually get up at 2 in the morning, so this is like way at the end of my day, and yeah, it's a little sleepy time for me. So I'm a little tired. So I'm gonna do it in the morning next time. So Wednesday, look for these same bat channels, and we'll see what we can do in the morning, like maybe around 9 or 10 in the morning, something like that. Until then, I'm gonna leave you with a smile. That's what I'm gonna do. God bless everyone.